Acha tuanze. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to episode 25 of Breaking Hertz. Kama kawaida, it's your boy Hafare, aka Mr. Metronome. Fuck, let's
run that shit back.
Fuck. Welcome to episode 25 of Breaking Hertz. Kama kawaida, it's your boy Hafare, aka Rodney Malik Casino, aka Byron the fuck. Okay. Welcome to episode 25 of Breaking Hertz. Kama kawaida, it's your boy Hafare, aka Rodney Malik Casino, aka Mr. Metronome, aka your girlfriend's boyfriend. And as usual,
Sookie, aka Sookie Maraga, aka Sookie.jpg, aka Uzumaki, aka Jessica Rabbit. We're back for episode 25. 25 episodes, guys. Thank you so much for rocking with us, man.
Quarter life crisis.
Hey. Washa too.
Hey,
and we're back on Maandamano Monday.
Yeah, by the way. But leo nikaa like watu walisema to respect siku Yesu walirudi kwa dunia.
Yes. Except Succession, apparently.
Okay, miss. I will not talk about that show.
No spoilers. Okay, but by the time this episode comes out, kauja watch hiyo ni shida yako.
Like, any HBO
spoilers
show,
are not real. Just close your eyes. I don't know, walk away from the screen.
Any HBO show that has a wedding episode, that episode is going to be insane. Every HBO show, from The Sopranos to Game of Thrones to Succession,
that's
as long as there's
I've
a
marked.
wedding in that episode, it's going to be a fucking insane episode.
Yeah.
That will have ramifications throughout the rest of the series. So,
anyway. What did you listen to last week?
No, before we get into that, how was your Easter weekend?
My Easter weekend was fantastic. I got to go to BND Kiambu, which is way outside of like my radius, but definitely... It was definitely worth the trip.
BND Kiambu is really far.
It's humongous though.
It's humongous, but it's far. And that's something coming from somebody who lives in Rongai. Your place ni mbali. Like, unaenda unashika
bro, you're crossing counties kwanza.
Nikitoka kwa nyumba kwenda BND ya Kiambu, you
have to talk to the chief.
Okay.
Upate stamp.
Letter of intent. Unaenda kufanya nini huko? I have to cross 3 different counties. Nah, I'm not doing that. But yeah, it's a very nice, like, the ambience is good.
Yeah, it
but
is.
But the music is the same as any other high-end club in Nairobi. And I use high-end very...
loosely.
Yes.
But yeah, I had a good time. I got to listen to a lot of music that I hadn't gotten to revisit for most of the year and chill with my loved ones. So I'm happy. How was yours?
Me, I said I'm not going to leave the house. Mm-hmm. Well, that was a fucking lie.
How's Gondwana?
Gondwana was nice. As usual, the crowd, you know the Gondwana crowd veniko. Like the guys just start jumping at 4 and then they don't stop until the set is issued. Guys are just... I don't know what drugs they're on, but I would want some. I would really want whatever.
Music is the drug.
I'm saying. Anyway, my Easter was nice. Went to a few places, saw a few people, talked to a man about a horse. The usual. Let me get into what I was listening to this week. Let's start with Never Enough, Daniel Caesar.
I saw your reviews on Twitter.
Wonderful. Lovely. That man, he can sing. By the way, that has never, ever been the issue around Daniel Caesar. The man can write a good song. He can sing. He touches parts of the emotions that you never knew existed.
That's true. But what's the background of that whole like situation with Yes Jules?
I don't know. He just came to like defend her on some like she said some racist statements, and then he came to defend. And then guys were like, "Yo, you're not big enough not to be cancelled." By the way, like. And
here he is with another album, and people are like, "We never cancelled him."
No, but he did own up. He did like say, "Yo, man."
Yeah, he did apologize.
I apologize. Like
he took accountability.
No, but the album is great. The album has some. Always is my song of the year so far.
Ooh,
and that is, the writing is amazing. The production is amazing. There's a softness to this album that I really love. But you can tell that he's a bit more mature, he's a bit more grown up. Like, life inakupiga mangumi, and it's reflected in your music. And honestly, it's one of the best albums I've listened to this year. It will be in rotation for a very, 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 very long time. And I'm glad he's back. Like, I feel like Case Study 01 didn't get the hype it deserved. It's also a great album, but I feel like But wase bado come and forgive for that Yes Jules stuff and
Yeah.
at me I was like,
Not really.
not really. And Yes Jules never. And the funny thing is, Yes Jules never came out to even defend him or like promo his album or anything. Yes Jules just rode off into the sunset to be saved by another nigga who wants to be with a light skinned babe. Is she even light skinned? She's white.
She's white.
Jesus Christ.
It just sounds like something. Okay, let me not get into that. But what else?
There was Ebony by Ebony Riley. This is an R&B project, an EP, and it's big room R&B. Remember Amari? This one thing that like lots of drums, lots of instruments. It fills the room for the most part.
I was reading something about that last week. How she's like, she wasn't a one-hit wonder, but like she did that one thing, and then
No.
I don't know. What other projects did she have out after that? No,
Okay.
like that was like probably her biggest hit though.
No, but see, they okay. I don't want to say it here.
What?
Didn't they just steal her songs and give them to Nani?
Oh, okay. You're tuongelelea kando. So
It was
big
a
room
crucified.
R&B.
Yes, very full instrumentals and production, very reminiscent of Amari. It's the usual regular R&B stuff. Love, heartbreak, longing, and the usual, oh, fuck this nigga song. I hate him kabisa, blah, blah, blah. One of the songs has, called Rose, has a sample of Love Come Down by Evelyn King, Champagne.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you make my love. I love that song. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorites. So every time I hear somebody sampling it, I'm like, ooh, nice. This should be good.
Yeah.
There's a song on there called Save Me that is very, very, very personal, by the way. It is extremely personal, very direct. It's like ile ngoma ya Summer Walker. Ile nanzanga, first of all, did you fuck your mama for giving birth to you? It's that type of song where she goes into talking about somebody who uses you, who doesn't love you back, talking about the friendships she lost, dealing with this person, the regret she has, the loss of a child. Very, very, very strong themes on that song. But the album in itself, as an EP, it's very cohesive. I liked it. Like, I would like to see more from Ebony Riley. But this is a very good introduction for me. Like, I know she can sing. She fits into the mold of the, like the current age R&B
Yeah.
as in Starlet. And I had fun listening to that.
Nice.
Then there was Seasons by Loiso. You know Loiso?
Loiso, no.
He's from SA. He was on one of these talent shows. And then he went viral on social media. And now he got signed to some label in the US. I've forgotten. I think it's Universal. This is his first project, I think. And right off the bat, I didn't like the first song. Because he sounded like he was swallowing his words. Anaimba ni kama ananyongo. Yeah, he sounds like, Didi Ramon, lead singer of the Ramones.
Yeah,
The way he used to sing, you couldn't tell half what he was saying because he was swallowing his words. So the first track I'm listening to, I'm like, wait, why does this sound so weird? Kumbe, he's just swallowing his words and you're like, okay.
And is it in English or?
English. So now, first of all, you can tell that this is influenced a lot by American and UK pop. It feels like early Sam Smith.
Ooh.
Like, just show the range of your vocals, just a few piano keys. Tin, 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 tin,
Nice.
tin, 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 tin. I did not like it. Like, honestly, because it's beige pop, you know what I mean?
Beige pop, what's that now? You just stay inventing genres and
Beige,
stuff.
the sound of beige, like, it's beige.
Brown noise is good.
It's the music they play at Mr. Price, at LC Waikiki when you're shopping.
No, is it? That sounds like more. I don't know. I'd say hot pink or something, not beige.
It's beige. It's a type of music that would be very, very appealing to a bored housewife or a babe who works in finance is dealing with a man who does not love her and is
Damn.
trying to find a way to make.
Now, what did the babe in finance do to you?
No, as in, I'm sorry, if you work in fine, as in, so it could be a babe in tech, you could be in law, it doesn't
No.
matter. As long as you wear a
Oh
pantsuit,
my
this is the music
God.
for you.
How are you?
As long as you wear a pantsuit,
How
this
is
is the
that
music
how
for
you're
you.
selling a project you took the time to listen to?
Because, like, no. it's-
Okay, objectively.
Personally, for me, it felt very monotonous. There was very little differentiation between songs. Even like between a song, maybe they just changed a key or like added like a different drum pattern. But it felt like this wasn't even like how can I put it? It was like a showcase just to show, oh, this guy can sing. Oh yeah, he can sing by the way.
Is it a debut?
Yeah.
Then maybe that's the point. It's supposed
He
to
can
sound
sing.
cohesive.
But again, I understand that even it doesn't even feel South Africa, and I feel like maybe the market they're targeting isn't the SA market. It's more of the UK Ed Sheeran. People who vibe to Ed Sheeran, they love that. Tin, 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 tin. I love you so much. Sam Smith type vibes. Yeah, I think that's the market they're targeting. I didn't like it by the way. Like honestly, I'm not gonna. It's not a bad project, but maybe
It
it's not for
wasn't
me.
for you, yeah.
I'm not gonna
probably.
revisit it.
I get you, yeah.
And then finally, for motivational use, Volume 1, Currency and Jermaine Dupri. The legendary Jermaine Dupri, who last year went on TV and laughed about cheating on Janet Jackson. We shall not forgive you for that discretion, by the way.
Imagine that.
You are trying to forgive you. But all things considered, the production on this EP was amazing. The production is amazing. Like, JD is still in his bag as a producer.
Yeah.
He there's a sample flip. I've forgotten what the song was. I'll remember, I know. On all the tracks, that is so good. That track has 2 chains, and the sample flip is dope. Even the sample flip on the track that has TI, and those are the only 2 features. It's 7 tracks long. Currency is still currency. He's still having fun. The production is reminiscent of early 2000s Atlanta hip hop. That's when JD was like before trap became the big thing. Like Time Ol Twanga, like Welcome to Atlanta, Ludacris style vibes. That's the type of production. That's the production feeling I got from it. And this is just volume 1. Apparently, they recorded 40 tracks, so we might have to get up to volume 5.
Ooh.
But the tracks that they gave us were really, really good. Like it was such a fun listen, and it's only 20 minutes long. You don't even need to like worry about anything. It's really good chill out music, smoke music, or just vibe out music. So, and that was my list.
All right. I listened to about 8 projects last week.
Where?
Hey, even me. Ni kama nililala kwa zile mattress zenye you need a chair upumzike ukiamka.
You know, that tweet is so good that anytime Mo could do any promo,
That's
the only thing I can imagine that hiyo mattress unahitaji kiti ya kupumzika. Unaamka unapumzika juu umechoka.
Well, at least they also sell those, so there's that. Yeah, so Uncle Waffles, I was listening to a lot of music that was released around March 30th, 31st.
I saw the Uncle Waffles project, but I didn't. Because again, Amapiano project, 7 tracks, 88 minutes long. Who has the fucking time?
At 88 minutes. I finished it in like an hour tops. It's not that long.
An hour?
Yeah, like I did my 2 things. Nini, it's not, it's 7 tracks. It's 7 tracks, see dramatic villa. But yeah, me you know, I have left the dramatic. Look at me in my nice scarf. I see you.
But anyway, how was the Uncle Waffles project?
So Uncle Waffles, first of all, it was her birthday. I didn't know that.
Nice.
And she released it on March 31st, so the day after her birthday. And I saw somewhere that she listed one of her influences as Lebo Matosa, which I thought was really interesting because in her time she was also called the Queen of Kwaito. Now Uncle Waffles is being dubbed.
Lebo Matosa, Boom Shaka. Yes.
You know you're Kwaito.
I mean, hey, it's about time that you listen to Boom Shaka. If you ever watched Channel O, you know that song by default.
Yes. So imagine, okay, Uncle Waffles is inspired by her, Black Coffee, and now she's being dubbed the Princess of Amapiano. Like she's had such an incredible career since we first saw her on social media, and now like over time she's proved that she's not just a social media sensation. And I think this project also just solidifies that. It's great conceptually. The sound varies with each song, the drum patterns, the way that she introduces something new in each song. I particularly liked Angry Birds and Baby. I listened to Baby, I think like I don't know how many times over the weekend. It's fantastic production. I really, really enjoyed this project. Definitely a danceable one for the books. And then I listened to Willow live at the Electric Lady. So,
Willow Smith?
Yeah, Willow Smith, who goes as Willow.
I whip my hair back and forth, Willow.
Yes, now, like if you've been following her career since then, she's gone into rock. That's her trajectory now. So she's performing at the Electric Lady. They've been having a couple of concept albums where they have different artists coming to perform. And I think Yeba has one, Muna has one, and now Willow. I liked Willow's because of the connection to Erykah Badu. There's a song, she does like a whole rendition of Bag Lady and Split, which is one of her ballads. And it's a fantastic mashup and also just a great ode to Erykah Badu. And the fact that I think they would vibe sonically comes out in this particular mashup. Also great because I think I talked about the Electric Lady on one of the episodes, the one with Kinaluko. How Badu actually recorded at the Electric Lady as well. She was one of the, like, actually, what project is this? Mama's Gun, was recorded at the Electric Lady, and Bag Lady is from Mama's Gun. So I love it when like musicians do that kind of stuff. It's a reminder of like the history of the place, but also fuses it with like Willow's original sound right now. So it's about 5 songs.
Nice.
Yeah. Beautiful project. Hey, this one, I I had primed myself for this one because first of all, R.I.P. Chester. Chester Bennington, the lead singer of one of my favorite bands, Linkin Park. And the debut project, Meteora, turns 20 this year.
Ooh.
So for the 20th anniversary, they did a release.
Old enough to be in Strath.
Maze.
Old enough to be in Kwetu.
You know, like for anybody who existed in the 2000s, you don't need to introduce this album. It's like one of the greats from that era and gave us some really timeless hits like Nam, Faint, and Somewhere I Belong, just songs that like you can sing off head, start to finish. But now, with the release that they recently did for the 20th anniversary, what I liked is that they released some of the demos from 2002. So songs that were supposed to make it to the project but didn't, which is nice because it was really nice to hear Chester's voice after his very untimely death. And especially hear it so vividly and so like well expressed as it is in these songs. The way that they're remastered is fantastic. They were all given so much love. I'm gonna shout out Lost, Halo, and Unfortunate. I really like those songs, but there are a bunch of other demos on the project, so do check it out. I also listened to Never Enough, but I can't do it justice in the way that you did. How many listens did you do?
Around, I think 2.5.
Nice. So yeah, like I'll probably be able to give it a conclusive like. I probably like skimmed through it just to hear what it is that you guys were saying about his vocals and the writing, and it's fantastic, just brilliant. I have no thoughts on Daniel Caesar, so ama zenye niko nazo nishasema. And then one of the projects I listened to was on YouTube, and it's a fantasy album. It's called The Millennials Folklore. It's J. Cole and Kendrick's fantasy album, which, you know, like there are many of them on the internet, but this one struck out for me because, wow, the sampling is brilliant. The sampling on this project is so good. I want it to be real so bad. Like I really like I wish J. Cole and Kendrick could hear this and just be like, yeah, actually, mbona tujai release project pamoja. Yeah, Javari is one of my favorite tracks of that particular one. It's a fantasy album that was produced by what's his name? A guy called Will on the Soul on YouTube. I thought it was great, so do check it out. I had told you about this one. Rosalia and Raul Alejandro, her man, I think that they're engaged now. In the visuals, she flashed an engagement ring for this particular project. It's called RR, it's basically just a compilation of songs, about 3 of them, for an EP that details their romantic life. Rosalia, we have gushed about several times. Motomami.
If you're not listening to Rosalia, by the way,
yeah, like we,
you are letting yourself down.
We single-handedly like try our best to push. She doesn't even need it. We just love her.
You know when people come and tell me, "Yo, I listened to Larry June because of you," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing a good job." Numbers. Good job, Larry.
Good job, Larry. Yeah, and then we have this project is special also because shout out to the fan that hollered at me at Boiler Room. And so he walked up to me and told me that he really likes the show and he wants me to listen to a project by an artist called Seko ICG. Seko ICG. So it's SEKOH ICG. Yeah. And the project is called Seko Mode 2. Sorry for the wait. It's a project from last year. His second project since okay, as far as I could see on Spotify. And I liked, in particular, the beat selection. I thought it was very diverse. The flow of the songs also kind of, it tapped something in me. I particularly liked hearing like a new story, a new flow, a new voice. And George Seko, if you're watching this, just keep putting out music. This is great. I liked the delivery on the drill track. I saw that he had only 9 monthly listeners, so I thought it would be great to like give him a shout out. So yeah, Boost is listening.
Shout out to Judge Seko.
Just check out his project. If it does something for you, then say something in the comments. And then we have Doba Zawa Genge, which is by one of my favorite DJs in Nairobi, GI Select, and Lasty. Do you know GI? Have you watched GI?
No, I have not.
So there was a point in 2017 there. I think that's the first time I saw GI. There was a club called Diners on Agwings Codec. Just up on Nyaya. So like you cross the road, you go, and it was like a tiny place. You could get shots for like a sock. And GI was playing there, and I have never danced that much in my life. Like, and I knew that like it was gonna be something special. And over time, he's just improved so much in terms of like even his production, the things that he does, the kind of choices that he makes. And this is just one of those choices. He decided to collaborate with Lasty, who's he's a fresh face in terms of like I guess how he's identified in the industry, but like he raps like he's been doing this all his fucking life. I love it. And it's mostly gengeton. They say that Doba Zawa Genge translates to music for the people. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Very danceable as Pakawa. Like GI, fantastic project. This came out on March 31st, so do give it a listen. And then finally, I listened to Afrocentric.
Bye.
So Afrocentric released a project called Mass Hypnosis, I think last week.
Wait, Afrocentric?
Afrocentric Caterpillar.
Oh,
no, Caterpillar.
Yes. I'm trying to, like, in my mind, I'm trying to figure out, why does that name sound familiar?
Well, they have a group. So it's Caterpillar. Was it supposed to be Hassan? Damn, I don't think so. But yeah, they have a group, and it's three rappers: Caterpillar. I'm gonna say Hassan because that's what's in the notes right now, and Original Chumba, who and they come together to give a concept album it's a bit long, but like the diversity in terms of like beat selection and the beats that are made, the kind of features they have Scam Cardinali on that. And Tajim Ziki, they have Smalls Lethal. It's a bunch of genres.
I haven't had that name in so long.
Smalls Lethal, yeah.
It's a throwback.
So yeah, they have a project with drill, Amapiano, dancehall, raga. I would figure there's also a bit of Afrobeats. I love this project so much. There's like a diversity of songs for the club, there's a diversity of songs for chilling, playlists, all of that. Yeah. Those are the projects I listen to. There are 8.
A lot.
It's
been a busy week.
Now,
let's take it back to something you said about the fantasy album.
Yeah.
I do not like fantasy albums.
Why?
And I'll tell you why. You ever met Omeiski?
You're an A-OK all-day hater.
No, like just listen to me.
Okay,
I have a valid reason.
Okay, so I'll
You know this when people say you never meet your idols, never meet your heroes. You see, like the way kama kuna poster ya Arnold Schwarzenegger on the wall, you might meet him na kumbe any asshole and it'll break the illusion. Sindio?
Yeah.
I don't like listening to fantasy albums because it'll either make me realize that the artist could make a way better album than this, or B, could make me realize why isn't the artist making an album as good as this. It'll either show me either a shortcoming or a pitfall. So I'm like, let the artist give me what they want to give me. Having somebody else create for the artist creates a sense of, how can I put it, like Nikitu. There's a false sense of achievement that cannot be reached in my mind.
Yeah.
Based around the artist's work. Because right now, if somebody puts out a fantasy, like you really want the fantasy album between Kendrick and J. Cole. What if they do the album and it's not as good as what you listen to?
I mean, I'll live. Like it's not like set in stone that they have to bring something as great as this. For me, I think it's just like
pet peeve too. Like for me, it's just a pet peeve.
I get you, but like as a listener and as a fan, I love fan-made stuff, like fan-made videos, fan-made, like fans are like, even fanfic in general, like the whole premise.
Are you a Wattpad babe?
I was.
You're a Wattpad babe?
I was.
Oh my god.
I was.
Oh my god, okay.
We evolve, we grow up.
Oh my
you know,
god.
we move past.
You're saying writing one-dimensional characters on Wattpad.
Checky.
And then lying to each other about how good the stories are.
Checky. You're gonna respect where I came from, Maze.
Where? My god.
But yes, as a former Wattpad babe, this is my shit. I really liked it.
No, I get why you would like it.
And it's not just that one. Like there's so many concept albums, fantasy albums that I've listened to that I love. Like there's Amerigo Gazaway. You know about Amerigo Gazaway? He does these mashups with like soul artists and rappers. So there's one of Mos Def and Marvin Gaye that I particularly liked. There's another De La Soul Tribe Called Quest One on AOK All Day that I keep going back to because I just love the flips and the way that they sample soul as well. This one that I mentioned today samples a bit of African music. So like for people who aren't aware of like, you know, the kora, it's all fused into this fantasy album. It's a way to not just give credence to the people that are rapping over the album. It's a way to give credence to
the artists,
the different artists that are sampled. So it's a musical journey in itself. Maybe they don't have to put out a project like that, but the fact that it exists is great to me.
No, I get that. I mean, I'm a big fan of reinvention. I'm a big fan of trying new things. That's why I love future funk so much. In my mind, I'm just thinking like, I know if I was to listen to that album, I would go through it. It's like if you tell me Marvin Gaye and Mos Def, that shit will never happen. So I am free to enjoy it without without the looming threat. Maybe this might happen and it'll be us. I don't know why. I just feel when I listen to this, if I was to listen to this, I'd be like,
But the looming threat can bounce. Like
let me be chicken little.
expectation.
The sky is falling. Let me be chicken little. I understand the meaning
So
of
you don't have to
city's
listen to
expectations.
nice things. Life is short, bro. Life is extremely short.
You know I love nice things.
I know you
love
do.
nice things. Anyway, I will give it a try.
Yeah.
Open-mindedly. And if I vibe to it, I might try some other concept like fantasy albums.
No, you should try all of them. In fact,
Recommend some, by the way.
there's one. There's a Nina Simone, Lauryn Hill one that I also really like. Those are two people that honestly should have collabed.
Ideally, at this point, the fantasy album uses pre-existing recordings.
Yes.
Okay then. Okay.
Yes, for the most part.
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's stuff we've already listened to. It's buzz we've already heard, but like they're mixed in a way that delivers the intent of the fan.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, that's what I liked about it.
I would love to see fantasy albums with AI. It's gonna come soon.
It's gonna be crazy. Which I wanted to ask you which Kenyan artists you think would work really well for a fantasy album, if you had to pitch one.
If I had to pitch one, hey, I would pick. Who would I pick? Like, let me think. I would pick Scam Cardinali and Hat the Band.
Ooh. I mean, I hear it.
No, because you know, Ska can flow over anything.
Yeah, he
More
can.
than anything else, I feel like his ability to just like bounce on a beat and just go with it.
He's a shapeshifter in that way.
And Hat the Band are they're very unique in how they produce their music. And like they are from left field. Like, come on, if you listen to their first album, made in the streets, Kulangomito Papaya Family. It's so it plays out like a courtroom session.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The Ukimwona, this song in Yotandogo. Itwaje. Do I really have to look this up right now?
I mean, you don't have to.
No, but I really, because I hate the fact that. But I love that song, so let me just check it out. But yeah, I feel like the band would be really good. Who would you think? Which kind of artist would you choose?
I need Suicida with one of the like R&B artists. I would love to hear Suicida and
Mudhaka.
Mudhaka. Ooh, Suicida and Mudhaka.
Suicida, Bridget Blue. Suicida and Maya Molo.
Okay, Suicida and Bayamolo sounds like it's doable even right
exactly.
now.
In my mind, I'm thinking like, is it the Suicida tunasema? These are things you can actually actualize.
They can, but I guess I'll just have to look through if someone has actually made some of these fan albums because like it's hard to, I guess, like shake these things to the surface, but I'm sure that they're there. Like any Kenyan that listens to fantasy albums knows how beautiful they can be. Hujapata song.
Nimepata Linda Moyo. But that album actually, like that album, I love Made in the Street so much. It's such a cohesive record, and it took a lot of time to actually make it. It has songs. El Shaddai is on there. Golden Chances, For You, Ukimwona. It has Mensol, Seishe, Kaskazini, Nyota Ndogo, Sauti Sol. It has so many features, and it works so well together. And I'm going to say this: I feel like the band are very underrated in Kenya. Like I know that they're big.
Yeah,
they have really big songs.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't feel like guys give them, like they don't put them in the echelon they deserve. By the way, like legitimately, because if you talk about like the biggest artists in Kenya, let's look at it this way: people will tell you Nyashinsky, Sauti Sol, Otile Brown, Calligraph. But these guys are doing the same numbers. These guys are selling out their own shows. They're producing their own albums. They're not even signed to a label. They're producing their own albums, and it just works in their favor. They're always touring. They're always doing gigs all over Kenya. It's just those guys who like you don't really think about them until you hear their music and you're like, "Whoa, this song is so fire." Because you really would not put them in that conversation of the biggest Kenyan artists, but by every metric, they deserve to be in that conversation.
So, on to the next thing we're going to talk about today. Do they make your list of most underrated artists and bands?
In Kenya, they do make my list in Kenya.
Or yours was wider?
Like, obviously, there's they're part of the list, but for Kenyan artists, I feel like I would put them up there as underrated. Other guys who are like Shaboli is underrated.
Shaboli is extremely underrated. But I also like my argument is always that like the people that find Shaboli's music find it at the time that they need to. The time that it like
when in touched by an angel.
No.
Dishika, you need this right now, my dear.
Wow. I just feel like it's not a niche sound. It's definitely something that could go like way bigger than like it probably is right now. But I find that you need to take your time. You need to like lather yourself in the music. It's that kind of sound. Like they put so much work into it. His live performances are fantastic. The way that he raps, the way that he compiles his raps, the way that his rhymes come together. It's just something that it's not necessarily mass market. It has to be, for you to find.
I get that.
In your own time, but like we push it as much as possible. We love Tra.
Of course we do.
And yeah.
2013, I was in Okolea drinking Hunter's Choice with Trabuli, trying to get him to listen to Freddie Gibbs. Yeah, he has never let me forget that.
Wow.
Yeah. Somebody else I think is quite underrated.
You're like
in the
a
Kenyan
Freddie
scene.
Gibbs influencer as well.
Freddie Gibbs.
Heavily.
Freddie Gibbs.
Larry June.
Currency to a point.
No, currency heavy. I remember.
Diana Codes.
Diana Codes is very slept on.
Ooh.
No, not even slept on. I feel like she's doing well, no?
She's doing well, but again, I feel like the whole Rongrende thing, people don't put her where she deserves to be.
But they still looked for her after she left, which is a sign of something. She still had her own independent like fan base, people that wanted to hear more from her.
Because I remember when Hanini came out, her EP. It's called Late Night Nila.
I remember.
That is such a dope name. And there's a track on there that I love called Gagula Gugu.
It's fucking amazing, crazy. Yeah.
Diana Codes is so underrated, and we need more people listening to Diana Codes. Actually, nikiendelea kusema hivi, Diana Codes, and then on my list pia, Wendy K.
Wendy K, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Niambie ni such a good song. Niambie ni nani? Because My Way Part 2 was really good.
It was.
I put revamp when you're watching this. But tell Wendy K about me. You should have, by the way, told Wendy K about me. And if you're watching this on Thursday, please go on Instagram to at someone's uncle's. You'll see me making ham and pineapple fried rice.
Oh, the episode's finally coming out.
I recorded it in January. It was supposed to come out on Valentine's Day, and it's like 2 months later. So a lot of the references I made on the episode are very like much Valentine's Day related. But please go watch me cook on Instagram. I know more than this, by the way. I know way more than this. Unaweza pika, as in,
Yeah.
dem yako akuja kwangu, I'm sorry. The game is over. So yeah, one more artist I'd like to say who I think is very underrated. And he's not underrated, but in my mind, he is still underrated. Shout out to Alvin Lupe Fiasco.
Ooh. But is Lupe underrated?
I feel like
in
my mind,
the way that Alvin loves Lupe, it just shows me that like it's a level of commitment that his fans have to like loving him.
Lupe
and
Fiasco
giving him
fans
some
exist
love.
in Lupe Fiasco exists this way. His fans exist on one extreme end of like Nyundo Wazimu, basically.
No,
Like
not Nyundo
rabid
Wazimu,
fans. Like those guys went to picket outside at Atlantic Records in 2011 to demand the release of his album. And then that album that was released was Lasers, which Lupe does not like at all. But still, on a technical level, I don't think there has ever or will ever be a rapper as technically gifted as Lupe Fiasco. Just the ability to form words and rhyme schemes and patterns, and just
he's a
the
talent.
ability to rap. I don't think there's anybody who will ever be able to reach that record level because Mural, even his first major feature, Touch the Sky, like that verse was insane.
It was.
Lupe is still like Lupe in the third, and then it's like it's the third verse. Lupe is still like Lupe in the third, the detective, but it's like Lupe is still like Lupe in the third, like stealing third base. There's so much layering happening in that verse that you could decode it for days. Like unazaifunguanisha tu. It's like in the words of Shrek, an onion. Like you peel it back, there's still layer after layer after layer. And what? I just had to, for Alvin's sake, I just had to point it out because I was listening to The Cool recently. Because I love the album. It's an amazing concept album. And you can just tell that Paris Tokyo, just the level of writing on that is unmatched. High definition, hip hop saved my life. He can write the most complex song ever made, or he can craft one of the best stories you'll ever listen to on a song.
He can, yeah. And drill music in Zion. How do you not mention drill music in Zion? You didn't like the project?
Oh, I did. I really liked it.
It was probably one of my
really liked
favorite
it.
projects last year.
It was a really good introduction to Lupe Fiasco. Like, if somebody has never ever listened to Lupe Fiasco,
They could start from
they
there.
could start from there
go
and
backwards.
then explore the discography from there. Because if I was to give somebody, what was it called? The one that had Mural. I don't know. I've forgotten the
Look
name.
at what I do for you. Okay, sorry.
What's the name of the project that had Mural? Is it Drogas Wave, Drogas Light?
Wave.
Yes. Drogas Wave is very, very complex.
No.
Which one was
We
had
might be
Mural?
wrong. We
Yeah,
might
we
be wrong.
might be wrong.
Hey, you're lazima to cross check, mazi.
Because if you are to start with food and liquor, fine. Even like Fahrenheit 9/11, which is also a very good place to start. The Cool Pier is a good place to start, but
Oh yeah, it is Drogas Wave.
yeah, it is Drogas Wave. Drogas Wave is a very, very, very complex album to get into. So you need to start with like something easier. No, it was Tetsuo and
Tetsuo.
Youth.
It's from
and
Tetsuo,
Youth.
but there's another mural on Drogas Wave as well.
Yeah. So if you start there, start with Nini, drill music in Zion, and then you can go back exploring the discography, and you can now start to fit into it. Because sometimes unazambia mtu anze na Tetsuo or Drogas, and they'll be like, "Wait, this is a bit complex for me."
I get you.
Wait, your list of underrated artists?
It's mostly the same.
Mostly the same.
It's mostly the same. I was gonna say Wendy especially because I find that like Wendy's voice morphs into something different for me with every project and collaboration that she does. But there's a way that she touched my ears on Oasis Park 3 that I will never forget.
Ooh,
Like
that was
her and Jinku. Amazing. She has such a wonderful voice. Mudhaka
yes.
as well.
Mudhaka.
Because there's a playlist I really like on Spotify called Barefoot and Free, and wow.
By who?
No, it's on Spotify too.
Oh, it's just like one of those like generated ones.
Yeah, no, not generated.
But
it's
curated. Spotify curated it themselves.
They curated that one. It's an editorial playlist that's mostly Kenyan R&B. And I think that's the first time I heard Sunshine. And I just went and listened to the whole project because what a voice, man. What a voice. I'm also going to say M. Rumbi and everyone that he's like collaborated with because Rumbi's sound is very distinct to him. The singers that he chooses really apply well with the kind of music that he makes. And the kind of music they make is so dreamy and nice and tamu. And I'm going to shout out Iana.
Always.
Iana, insane vocals.
Amazing.
Like,
We stand.
we stand
We stand a
100%. There's a Monique Berger that he collaborates with. He's based in South Africa. So most of these verses, it's like an interchange sometimes. And yeah.
Okay.
I think those are the ones I was going to add to your list.
By the our list is not conclusive. Whoever you
It's
feel
not
is underrated, by
conclusive.
the way, just support your favorite
Some
artists.
aqua comments and tell us what project to start from so that we can go through their discography with your perspective. I think that's a great way to discover music. That's what we do. Yeah. So you wanted to talk about how sampling
Yes, actually,
influences music knowledge.
I thought I had put this down, but I hadn't. But when I was listening to the Currency Project, the one with Jermaine Dupri, there's a sample that really stood out to me. It's called "Off the Lot," the song, and then Nani. I love the sample so much. Let me just look for it. But that sample was still. It was the same sample that was used by Larry June on Another Day Part 2, which is also another amazing song, by the way. Listen to more Larry June. Let me just get the name of the sample right now. It's Without You by the Raka Collective. And I went and listened to now that song, the Raka Collective, and I loved it so much. So I went through the whole project. Same thing that happened with Can't You See What You're Doing to Me by the 3 Degrees. Sampled on Kimya Kimya by Mangoya. So yeah.
It forces you to go back and listen to the
I went
original.
and listened to the original song. Can't you see just what you're... It's such a lovely song. And I have rarely ever had 3 people harmonize that well. The harmonies are insane. Those babes knew, it sounds just like one person singing.
It does.
But you can feel it's 3 distinct people, but it just feels like one voice. Loved it. So I went through the whole project, whatever your project called, the 3 Degrees is the first album. And then I found out that there's a song called Revelations on Rick Ross's last album, that the sample is actually from that album too. It's another track on that album called A Woman Needs a Good Man. And now I was just thinking okay, so how much music do we just discover of sampling too? Of just being, or how many artists are we put onto just by
Through
sampling?
Yeah.
Because I don't think guys like the Isley Brothers, their music will live forever because there will always be somebody sampling in between the sheets.
There will.
Ding, 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 ding.
And I think what I liked beyond hip hop as well, because hip hop is very well known for sampling. There's electronic music. Last week we talked about Richie Sakamoto and how the music that he made influenced the way that house popped up in Detroit, the sounds that African Bambata was making in that time. So when it comes to club music, for me, what I like is also just the way that artists can kind of pick out even songs from different ethnicities, sounds from different ethnicities. You learn so much about where this music is from. There's a particular artist, they're a duo, I found called Acid Arab. So when I first listened to the song, because I found it on my Discover, I was like, okay, these are probably Arab dudes making club music, but it's not. It's Parisian dudes. They're both from Paris, and they sample Persian and Arab music. There's no conclusive way to pull what the sample is, which is more interesting because now it's you have to ask them themselves where they dug this from, if it's a vinyl project. A lot of these cuts that are very obscure make for even a richer original sound. That's what I found. I really liked the music that I listened to from them because of that. It took me to another place, and it's not even necessarily Paris. It's a completely different, side of the continent altogether. So yeah, club music, hip hop, sampling, amazing.
Club music really is like club music is the background of sampling. I feel like because
Yeah,
you can literally just take a single line from a song and turn it into a whole other song that will be played for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Everybody's on ketamine and Molly, and they're just vibing.
Yeah.
It's like Nini.
There's nothing like using a good stem.
What's this song called? Wes Alane. Alane, that song, so it became popular because some DJ in Europe just remixed it, and then it went. I think he's in Belgium. He just remixed the song, took the sample, put it in the clubs, and then it went super viral. Like this is the '90s, so it went big everywhere.
Immediately, yeah.
Play that song, play that song for your father or mother, and I wanted to got transported back to 1995.
Yeah.
wakiwa Uhuru Park wanakula queen cake na soda madiaba. But yeah, I love how club music has done that. The same way the club scene started sampling J-pop and city pop to the point where now city pop and J-pop are being sampled in pop records. Because Nini, Ngoma last year, this man, the Eritrean Ethiopian, what's his name? The Weeknd.
The Weeknd. I talk about.
No, like I'm trying to think.
Oh my god, that is not no.
No, like
no,
yeah.
I was waiting for you to talk about The Weeknd, but like that's how you. Anyway, continue.
So he's the single Out of Time.
Yeah, you said it's a J-pop.
Yes,
it's a future funk sample.
City pop sample, Midnight Pretenders.
Ooh.
By Tomoko Aran. Midnight. There's a city pop sample on one of Tyler's projects, I think on Igor. Yeah, on Igor, the city pop sample on there. City pop samples are popping up everywhere, Squeezy. Because apparently, guys are figuring out like, hey, like these songs are pretty good, man. Like,
yeah,
people are sampling, people are making drill songs using city pop samples.
Nah, for real. I think the bounce is like the bounce and the melody. They have really good melodies. That's what I'll say. The first playlist you sent me to put me on to future funk had so many good melodies. I was like, oh my god, like if you're ever like in a melody drought, just listen to that. Like they have such innovation. I really fucked with it. Yeah.
It is. But I love how sampling just gives you a window into like new music you'd never imagine. Because you'll be there just sitting and then listening and you're like, ooh, this sounds nice. And then you go like, oh, kumbe, this is just a sample. This is a bit of another song that you've never listened to. Go now, and it allows you to now dive into a whole new discography that you would not have had the chance to go. One of my favorite samples is a group called Trio Mokoto. I hope I'm saying it correct. They are from their Brazilian funk. They have a song called Now Adianta. Now Adi. It's on one of my playlists. And I found that sample through Pete Rock and Smoke Dizza's album, Don't Smoke Rock.
Nice.
And I was listening to it, and then I went through the whole discography, like, and I love how Brazilian funk is sampled. There's another song I got this from
even Bossa Nova.
Yeah,
I feel like that's how I got into Bossa Nova in the first place.
Again, a lot of these like genres, we get into them through sampling too. Hold on just a minute. Let me tell you the song, but I got it from a Stali song. It's what was the name of the song? I've forgotten the name of the song, but it was from a 2011 tape. And if I remember, honestly, Intawambia, I'll put it down in the comments.
You can put it in the comments or
but
in the description.
But the sample is Tudo que você podia ser by Quarteto MSI. Okay, but that's just the version they sampled, because this song has been covered a lot of times. And I'm pretty sure it's Ngoja. I know that song is on one of my playlists, so let me just look for it. Today we spent a lot of time just going through.
Wait, when I talked about Don't Stop Believing, did I
The
tell
Sound
you?
of Silence by Stali from Lincoln Way Nights, which came out in 2011. The sample is so good. That song is great, by the way.
Nice.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to listen to it immediately after this.
Wait, I was saying, when I talked about Don't Stop Believing, did I tell you about the fact that Cameron had sampled it?
Really?
Cameron sampled Johnny, yeah.
But you know, hey, Cameron, by the way, anasemanga vitu zingine weird sana.
No, like that, it's a special song. I'm not going to talk too much about it. You just tell me what you think next week.
I will.
But yeah.
I think tumefika mwisho.
Thank you for staying for yet another episode.
Thank you so much. Tell us your favorite samples, by the way, social media, comments, wherever. Don't forget,
the comment
right
section
now,
is also popping squeezy, so like just get that going.
get in there, by the way. Have an argument up with Botini. I'd love to see it. It's a blood sport after all.
Yeah.
Also, don't forget that as of right now, when you're watching this, I am cooking on Instagram. So go watch me make a very bastardized version of ham and pineapple fried rice. I blame the rice.
Hafare's flip.
No, it wasn't Hafare slip. It was Hafare salvage. But anyway, I had so much fun with the guys from Someone's Uncles. Revamp is there. He was on the show.
And Chevy Kev.
And Chevy Kev. And make sure to check out their music. Guys, thank you so much. See you on the next one.
See ya.